Deal or no deal?
The government offer of 16.2 billion is a good deal that will cut across all levels, that is primary, secondary and tertiary institutions.
To KUPPET, representing about 52,000 teachers, it's a deal. To Knut, representing over 200,000 teachers, no deal has been reached, casting more confusion over the fate of hundreds of thousands of public school children who have been away from school for the last 3 weeks. The government's insistence on the 16 billion shilling offer to all 278,060 teachers, the center of a row and muscle flexing between these two teachers' unions.
A teacher is a teacher, and that's exactly what they have done. TSC is an employer for all teachers, whether KUPPET members or KNUT members. Therefore, it is in the interest of all parties to ensure that indeed all teachers and their concerns are addressed.
But we have heard that today there is an agreement that has been entered into, which to us is unacceptable to the teachers of the Republic of Kenya, majority, and in fact all of whom we represent, because they have migrated from that government of the union of the government.
No, we are not intimidating anybody here. We are only saying that it's imperative that all of us obey the rule of law. We are no exception, and therefore teachers must also respect and obey the law. When the strike was declared unprotected and illegal,
And while teachers remain on the streets singing protest songs over their rights, students and pupils continue to suffer the missed learning hours, and their parents agonize over when their children will return to school. It now appears that the government and teachers union NUT have stuck to their guns, away from the negotiation table, and each side remains unrelenting on the best way to find a solution to break the deadlock that has now seen the nationwide teachers' strike run for the 18th day.
And I want to appeal to their sisters or brothers in KNUT to come on board and do exactly what KUPPET has done. Comply with the court order and comply with the president's appeal.
We were accused of refusing to go to the negotiating table. We did not refuse. And indeed, we went for a meeting, which we were invited. And you know, a negotiating table is a very sacred table. But you all remember what happened. Indeed, we realize government has a lot of mischief and bad faith against Kenya National Union of Teachers.
Of course, sometimes you disagree. And sometimes you may even not talk for a while. But the talking has to continue. The dialogue has to continue. And finally, you will get an outcome like the one we are actually witnessing here today.
On the table, the government has harmonized commuter allowance for all teachers to be paid out in 3 phases that will take 24 months. Teachers in Job Group G will move from their current 1,001 shillings to 1,901 in July this year for Phase 1, 3,100 in July next year for Phase 2, 4,000 shillings in July 2015 for Phase 3. This will be replicated to the highest Job Group R that will see chief principals move from a current allowance of 4,410 shillings to 16,000 in the last phase. This, however, is a modality that the NUT officials argue should instead be paid in lump sum.
As meager as it is, it should have been paid, and we demand that it is paid all at once. How do you stagger? How do you phase 2,900 shillings in 3 years?
Under the deal that KUPPET has agreed with the government, responsibility allowance for primary school administrators in Job Group K and below will go up by 100%. Head teachers, deputies and senior teachers whose current rate differs with the number of streams in their schools will in the deal have their responsibility allowance doubled. All those teaching at special schools will receive a special flat rate allowance of 10,000 shillings and readers allowance at a flat rate of 15,000 shillings. Jackie Maribe, Citizen Live at 9.